Hello, Marvel fans. Welcome to episode of Marvel Talk with your hosts,
Nick?
and Chris. And today is our first official book club.
That's right. Welcome to the first episode of Marvel Book Club, where we're going to go over our first ever book that we're going to go through. And it is basically the mini-series of Ghost Rider and Wolverine, Weapons of Vengeance. Now, this is how it's going to work. We're going to go over the first issue. Then we'll go over the next one, and then etc. And then we're going to give you a recommendation after the review, where we're going to go over the comics and everything, and then give you our honest thoughts, see if it's recommended to go to the comic book store, and then take it from there. So with that being said, let's get started. So first is the first one, Alpha 1. And basically, this is where it starts off. It basically shows us that they have been hunting down a spirit that was created by Mephisto.
Yeah, who apparently was in a child.
Wolverine grabs Johnny right here. They go into it throughout the comic, basically. They go through how they met in the past. So they show you, like, this kid. And they show you, like, how Wolverine was in the past. It starts off with him going to Xavier's mansion and asking for help. But after Xavier checked in, he realized that the kid's not a mutant. He is a demon.
Yes.
Well, he carries a demon. And, they end up, like... And this kid has, like, a ability to turn just show me.
Yeah.
Like that. They basically have the ability to turn
that.
But him and Johnny... because Johnny, vengeance spirit, can sense, like, evil and stuff, and Mephisto. So the Rider instantly felt this and instantly ran after him to get him. And Wolverine just wanted vengeance because the demon was destroying his home. So Wolverine goes after him.
Yeah.
And then he tangles, unfortunately, with the spirit of vengeance.
Yep.
Thinking that he was him when it wasn't. And then they end up, like, saying that they're going to come back and they're going to team up because they lost the spirit that they were hunting because the kid fell asleep. So now they are going to end up going after the kid in modern day. And that was the first issue of Alpha 1. I'm going to let Christopher take over from this one and talk more about it. This will be Ghost Rider issue 17, which is one of the coolest covers, I have to say. So, Christopher, I'm going to let you start off this one.
Okay, then. So, in Ghost Rider 17, this one is going to focus mostly on Ghost Rider, pretty much. So,
Because it is his comic.
yeah. So, it starts off with this guy who is at a baseball game. Right here. And so, apparently, when he goes to the bathroom, he ends up falling upon that demon, as a matter of fact. And yeah, it's shown right here. Okay, yeah.
I got it.
Okay.
You do the talking, I'll do the...
Yeah. And then it cuts to a Ghost Rider, Johnny and Logan, basically, at the moment. And where apparently they end up trying to look for this demon was. And then they end up at, like, I think, like a campsite and see another one of those big little freaky statue thingies. And yeah, like right here. And then they end up falling upon at the baseball game where that fella that was in there gets that same thing too. Right there.
Yeah, right here, just in case if they didn't see that there.
Yeah. So then apparently so they end up trying to go around, and then they fall into this guy right here wearing like a...
He owed Logan a favor.
Yeah, this guy owed Logan a favor, and so ends up...
What's his name?
Oh, Jeff Bannister. There we go.
I forgot his name, but I knew it was there.
Yeah, so... And then so...
It also goes into another flashback. I think I showed this earlier, but, like, here's the flashback. What I said earlier about them fighting and saying how they will meet again to take care of the demon.
Yeah. And then... so then eventually, like, Johnny starts snooping around, and...
then the Ghost Rider senses, so apparently the guy, what's his name?
Jeff Bannister.
Well, the guy who was holding this kid, beating the kid. Well, put him in like a weird dungeon thing. He runs the he runs the thing. It was in the first issue.
Oh.
I forgot his name.
Oh yeah, I think this is somebody else now.
Yeah, I forgot his name, but he owns like the foster home that the kid was in, and he basically does this to the kids. And Ghost Rider got so angry he unleashed his vengeance and killed him, but also taking all the information from him by the death stare, the judgment stare. Yeah. And what's funny is that he gives it to Wolverine, and Wolverine's just like, please don't ever do that again. Yeah. Just next time, tell me the information.
Yeah, I thought that was funny. And yeah, and then it ends with we end up going to like a Weapon Plus Hellfire program.
And yeah,
it's explained right there. Okay.
Next is the third parter.
It's Wolverine.
Fall of X 36. Another really cool cover.
Yeah.
I just really love these covers. Yeah. The Helverine. Enter the Helverine. I love that.
Yeah.
And it basically shows us another flashback of the kid, Bram. So Bram is basically this kid that needs to feed off of souls for his demon to survive. So his nurse, this girl who takes care of him, basically is just like, she's ending up paying off elderly people who are dying so that the kid could eat the soul, which is kind of fucked up. And
yeah, you can see. Really.
Yeah, you can show this time.
Yeah,
I'm going to talk about it. Yeah, it's fucked up, and she's like the only one that really cares about him. She ends up actually adopting him. What's also interesting is that the government is teaming up with what do you call them? Cult members. One of them is this guy. He actually worked on the Weapon S program.
Yeah, Father Pike.
The cult leader of Mephisto's gang. So after that, this stuff starts to happen. Goes into some crazy shit.
Oh yeah, with that Jeff guy.
Mm-hmm. But luckily, Johnny Blaze's friend, what's her name again? I forgot her name. Hold on, guys. I forgot her name. While Christopher looks for the name, I'm just going to continue on. So they go through the facility and they look around, and Wolverine's starting to realize that this looks pretty familiar, just for it to happen to him again, even saying not again.
Oh, okay, I got the name. Oh. It was Talia Warroad.
That's right. She is a friend of Ghost Rider. I think she's been appearing on the newer ones, but I haven't been reading the newer ones, so I wouldn't really know. And as you can see, they're getting ready to transplant the demon to Wolverine, which is why they needed him. They believe that Wolverine is the perfect vessel, and the kid Bram wanted the demon out of him. And there's a fun plot twist that we're going to get to later on about that after it. But right now, they get ready to transfer the demon. And Wolverine, before being corrupted, even says it, I'm going to take them all out before I become Helverine. And then this is when he becomes the full transformation in his Weapon X gear, which is very interesting. And then we see him just on his motorcycle getting ready for the final part. And I'm going to let Christopher finish the tale while I do the showing. But here it is, the last issue of the storyline, which is Omega 1 of Ghost Rider and Wolverine, Weapons of Vengeance. Another beautiful cover.
Yeah. So, all right, here we go, the last one. So, it starts off where, I believe it's, I think it's like two
regular mutants.
Yeah, I figured. Two regular mutants.
If I just may say something, for anyone who hasn't been reading any of the newer comics, the mutants are no longer on Earth and have been targeting by Father Pipe. Because I forgot the reason why, but they've been hunting mutants that are no longer on the planet of the new Planet of the Mutants. If you've read Judgment Day, which we'll probably do a book club on, they basically show where they're living right now, and there aren't a lot of mutants left on Earth because of that, but there are still some, and they hate humans, and some of them have been targeting and been going up against war. But Father Pipe has been hunting down mutants, and he's been having the creature to hunt down and kill the mutants for unknown reasons. But the reason why he wants Wolverine is so that Wolverine is the perfect vessel to hunt down mutants. And we'll show you more about that. But I just want to let you guys know that he's been having this spirit be hunting for mutants. So the mutants are being hunted by this creature. Now you can continue. I'm sorry for. I just want to add that in there.
Hey, that's good to know.
Yeah,
always good to know. So
it's also very important. I'm sorry. It's also just like a very part of the story, and we didn't go over it. So I just wanted to remind everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, it's these two mutants who end up going to a house, but then it ends up an explosion happens. And then we see apparently Wolverine, who ends up going after them, and they get into a fight with him, and he ends up killing them, and then it sees a little mutant baby right there, saying to kill it.
Father Pike
was telling him to kill it. All right.
You're good.
And then it shows apparently, I believe it's Johnny right here.
Yes.
Yeah, Johnny, where punch him saying no. Like,
oh no, that's Wolverine.
Oh.
Wait. Or no, no, this is this is Johnny.
Yeah,
right.
It's Johnny.
Sorry about that. I was looking at this page.
Yeah.
So yeah, just see that's Johnny right there saying don't you fucking dare.
Yeah, but Father Pike says I'll deal with you later.
And pushes him back.
Yep, and then I believe then it's like he puts Johnny in this
I got it.
Yeah, in that container over there. And yeah, so then it shows more of Talia and Jeff like still looking around, and then she ends up letting loose some Hellfire boosters, which is pretty cool.
Oh hell yeah. Literally.
And then she ends up explaining to, Talia ends up explaining to Jeff the reason of why this demon that's in Brahm is, and like how Mephisto created him and everything.
And why Brian is the vessel, which is very interesting. I'll let Christopher explain everything.
Yeah, so apparently Brahm's parents worship the dark under a black moon,
which are cult leaders for Mephisto.
Yep, and the ceremony was performed on the grave of a man hanged for murder. And they wanted a child who would serve as a vessel for Mephisto's will.
Can't show too much because of copyright, but that's just as much as you're going to get. You can pause this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they end up having sex on the corpse.
Yeah.
And it worked. And apparently it worked.
Yeah. So then, apparently, next we end up seeing Brahm actually end up waking up from who was, right there. Waking up and then realizing what's going on, and
he misses his vessel. He didn't realize that he needed it so much.
Yeah. And so he tries to ask Father as he wants it back, ask Father Pike, but wouldn't happen. But then it shows Wolverine again saying to kill the child, and again and to kill all the mutants, but then Wolverine's like no, and he's not.
This was what I meant, because he says no to Wolverine. Wolverine says no.
Yeah. But oh yeah, so then Jeff and Tally end up into the place where Father Pike is, where Johnny and Brahm, and they end up freeing Johnny and end up looking around here, and then they found Wolverine over here, and
just to show you some of the stuff.
And then, but then Johnny goes into Ghost Rider, and then the fight, and they end up having a fight. Actually,
she also says, "Go get him, Ghost Rider," which is just like right here. I'm just gonna.
Yeah. And so and then they go into their big fight right here.
Big clash.
Yeah, that literally these whole 2 pages literally were filled with it.
It was really cool.
Yep.
Ghost Rider didn't want to actually hurt Wolverine. He even says like you can stand down and stuff, or I am gonna have to take your soul, blah blah blah. and they go into this really cool battle, and words are going to happen. Christopher's going to explain it.
Yeah, and so yeah, while Johnny's like trying to wake Wolverine out of this, and eventually it was still a bit hard, but then eventually it's like but then Father Pike tries to show us like how strong he is, but then I believe it's like Wolverine's like, oh, fuck off.
That's right. And the soul ends up going back to Brine.
Yep. And
then Ghost Rider takes out Father Pipe.
Yeah, right there.
Right there and everything.
And then then Johnny ends up able to get rid of the demon, like freezing him up in like some sort of
I don't even
I think it's like it says caught in the punishing light of my damnation stare.
The damnation stare, yeah. I haven't seen him use that one in a while, honestly. I actually forgot that it was a thing. And then they just go into this scene that Christopher will explain.
Yeah, so then afterwards it's all done. It shows Talia and Jeff again. There was like one crazy thing they went through, and
that's right.
And yeah, so then apparently Logan and Johnny end up having a nice little talk right here. Saying how they've been chasing like this demon like for a long time, and in the end it's like they end up fighting themselves, and
yeah, and that they all have demons.
Yeah, and then realize they both do, and
it leaves like a cliffhanger.
Oh yeah, where apparently a vulture right here ends up going on that frozen demon that Johnny did with the stare, while the bird was like pecking at it, and ends up showing an eye.
Yeah, and then the end, question mark.
Yeah, saying, who knows, the demon could be back.
That's right, we never know. And then they basically show you what's in store for the next characters after this, which is basically Ghost Rider rides again, and Ghost Rider 18, and then Wolverine, Last Mutant Standing, issue 37. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, Wolverine's mission across the Marvel Universe.
Yes. So, yeah, that is everything. So, in total, this was a this was a 4-part miniseries. Yeah, and this was actually really good. This is one of my favorite reads this year, honestly.
Yeah.
I love that they connected a story. I love that they showed us a little history between them. I always did love Wolverine and Ghost Rider, and I also love that in Midnight Suns, the video game, they have that Johnny and Wolverine have a relationship, that they've teamed up multiple times before. So it was really cool to see this kind of happen like this. All in all, the first issue, Alpha 1, was very good. I'm gonna give this like a 5 out of 5.
Mm-hmm.
What would you give it?
Yeah, same. I feel like the whole thing was perfect.
Yeah,
honestly.
This was really good. So, issue 17 was 5 out of 5. Mm-hmm. Part 3 was 5 out of 5.
And part 4, 5 out of 5.
Basically, it was a great read. Do we recommend this? Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, very highly.
If you are a Wolverine fan and a Ghost Rider fan, or if you're trying to get into Ghost Rider or into Wolverine and you're one of the fans, this is honestly probably the best way to do it, honestly. These are fantastic issues. One of the best... if you want to wait for it to become... a graphic novel, that's fine too. I have one with Deadpool the Duck. So there are definitely going to be making a graphic novel of this pretty soon, probably by next year. So if you want to wait for it to become a graphic novel, that's fine. If you would like to have a collection, that's fine too. If you're a digital guy, you can get these digitally. But at the end of the day, we do highly recommend Ghost Rider, Wolverine, Weapons of Vengeance. But just remember, so for us, we had to wait we had to wait for Alpha. So we didn't get a chance to read issue 17.
Yeah, that we waited for.
So we waited for this, and then we waited for the Wolverine, and then the last
one.
Omega. So read it like this. You are going to be reading Alpha.
Yes.
That's your first read. Next is Ghost Rider, issue 17. Next is the part 3 with Weapons of Vengeance, Wolverine, Fall of X, 36. Then last, the final one, which will be Omega 1. That will be your order to read them in. And with that being said, that is our first one. We're sorry if this was a little off. This is our first time. So let us know what you thought of these in the comments down below. Let us know what comic book you like us to talk about and go over. All in all, this was a really great read. The villain was really cool. It was interesting to see that Mephisto has more cults than I thought he did. It was also great seeing Wolverine as a vengeance, a mutant vengeance or something. It was really cool. Definitely one of my favorite reads of this year. And yeah, it's basically a 10 out of 10 read. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. And we will see you guys in the next video. And with that being said, Excelsior.
Enough said.